offer an opportunity for questions. Though one, I got an email asking you to, there's a young man going to be retiring. I know you met him earlier. They come over and shook your hand, probably got an autograph like I did. Joe Whitehead from Elsa is going to be retiring very soon, and I guess out there he's Mr. Boom Baby and there's Mrs. Boom Baby, Joe Cook. One's an IU fan, one's a Purdue fan. They disagree on about everything except Boom Baby.
I told him I was going to tell a story. There's little things that come up. But in 1953, the Indiana-Purdue series Saints always been. They hated each other. They were coming into Bloomington to play us, play Indiana. And Ray Eddy was the coach. He had coached Madison High School to Indiana State High School championship. Ray came in, and he made it be known the day before that they were going to play zone defense. They couldn't play us man on man. So here we go. They come in. 4 minutes into the ball game, we've got them down 21-0. There's a kid, I can't think of his name, who was on the bench. Great kid. Ray Eddy called timeout and said, I guess we're going to have to go back to man-to-man. This kid pipes up and says, does anyone ever get skunked in this game? The record still stands. The most points ever scored in that Indiana-Purdue game was 113 to 78. Still stands.
And no three-point shot.
No three-point shot. We could have scored like 200.
Coach, will you do a Boom Baby for Joe?
Boom Baby Joe!
Slick, it has been an unbelievably honor to sit here with you. I watched your biography the other night, and I told my wife after that, I said, I am in awe of that man. And I said, I better get over that before I sit up on the stage with you. But you are just one hell of a guy and a good man, and what you've done for Indiana, Indianapolis is just unbelievable.
Well, let me, those kids that served us tonight, I used to wait tables. They did a fantastic job. And I've always had a love affair with the people of the state of Indiana.
So cool.
I wish it could go on forever, but I know better than that. So to all of you, let the Lord put his hand on your shoulder and bless all of you for the rest of your lives.
Thank you, Coach. One final word here. Nancy, would you like a microphone?
Can you hear me back there? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. I want Bob to tell you 2 stories to make the evening even more fun. One, I would like you to tell the story of George McGinnis and Howie Carl in Texas at their ball game. And I would like you to set the scene so they can visualize what the heck is going on. And the other thing is, I would like you to end by telling them one of your escapades with Larry Bird in Utah.
Okay.
And
Let's rock and roll. I know you guys got to get to bed tonight. We're playing down in San Antonio, playing the San Antonio Spurs. Now this is after Roger Brown, Mel Daniels, Bob Middleton, Freddie Lewis had all retired. We had George McGinnis left, We had Billy Knight as a rookie, and we go into San Antonio. We're a decided underdog on a Sunday afternoon. They've got George Gervin, who later won the NBA scoring championship. I mean, they had a great team. So we go in on Sunday afternoon, and guess what? We beat them. We beat them. Kind of shocked everybody. They had a group called the Baseline Bums. And you go on or off the floor there, and they're throwing beer on you, you'd think it was at Elwood High School. So we got to come back on Tuesday night. In the ball game, it's a tie ball game. It's a tie ball game. And Don Boosie gets the ball in the middle on a fast break. George McGinnis is in this lane, Billy Knight in that lane. They've got a kid, which some of you will be familiar with, out of North Carolina, that's been a coach in the NBA for many, many years. His name is George Carl. Boosie hits George McGinnis, and George is going in for a layup. And they call it a charging foul on him. He drove George Carl clear back in the back of that backstop. His head was bleeding and everything. Well, George was going bananas. I mean, he was going crazy. And I had to get out on the floor because they're going to kick him out. They kick him out, we're done. So in the next minute and a half, we run off 8 straight points on him. And not a lot of time left on the clock. Same scenario. Boo in the middle. George in that outside lane. George Carl back. Boo hits George McGinnis. George catches the ball and bounces it into the stands and just went right at George Carl and drove him right in the backstop again. And George turned around to the referees and said, "Now that's a charging foul." Larry, you asked about Larry Bird. Larry and I, when we're on the road, we were on the road, he's coaching. The coach always gets they didn't when I was coaching, but nowadays they get a suite, with all the blackboards and the video and all that stuff in there. We're out in San Francisco, and Larry don't want to go out to eat, so we always went out and got stuff and brought it back up to the room. Monday Night Football's on. I don't know who did that. San Francisco, Chinese food. We got all this Chinese food. And we go back up to the suite and have Chinese. And it's time for the ball game. After you eat, I lay down on the sofa to watch the ball game. And guess what? I fell sound asleep. Well, I wake up the next morning, 6 or 7 o'clock, and I got all my clothes on, and there's nobody around. I slept in there all night. So here, my method of operation was I always went down to the lobby, got a black styrofoam cup of coffee, took it back up to the room, read the paper, which I did. Well, it so happened that they were having a Baptist, they were having a Baptist sunrise ceremony, thing. I get off the elevator and I start walking towards the coffee shop, and people